was statewide archery season, but we're still back here hunting this urban deer. You guys know I'm trying to fill my doe tag in the reduction zone so I can get my second buck tag, my reduction zone buck tag. But first night sit, I passed 2 good does, but they just weren't quite big enough. Looking back, I probably should have shot the lead one because she was decent size. There's bigger does in here, older does, ones that probably aren't breeding that I'd just rather take out, but it's a cool morning. It's in the 40s, so last year on October 1st, I heard them say on the news this morning that last year, a year ago today, it was 92 degrees, so I think the high today is like high 60s, so it's going to be a nice cool day. Hopefully these deer move through and I'll get a shot at one. All we can do is sit tight and wait. Up. I'm just a little high. I was sitting here watching a video like I told you guys, and I looked up and I saw a fawn walking, and then I look over and there's a doe. She kept looking this way thinking she saw something. I thought she saw me. Well, come to find out there's a squirrel here messing around, but they wandered up right here in front of me. And she was standing right here at 10 yards for forever, just looking at me, trying to figure out what I was. The other one was back here smelling my scent trail. Well, finally, she walked up and walked this trail over into an opening about 20. I thought it was 25, so I put the pin a little high, but now that I'm looking at it, it was 21, so. Well, not good, guys, not good. If you look at the arrow here, see all those chunks look like backstrap meat. I knew I hit a little high, but the whole deal was I had range find a post behind her at 31 yards. She was in between me and that, so I figured 25. So the way my bow's set up, if I split the distance between my 20 and 30 yard pin, I normally drive tacks with it. So I did that. And come to find out, I hit right where my 20 yard pin was at, which happened to be high because I was splitting the distance. And not only that, but she ducked. So we came back here. We looked in the immediate area, right where the arrow was, no blood. I knew she dropped down the creek, so I got down the creek and walked it down. Didn't see
her anything, no blood. Looked in the immediate area where I thought I might have heard her crash. Didn't see any blood or find her. So when you slow it down, you can definitely see that it punches right through just below the spine on the entrance side, and you can't see the exit, but when she was running away, I could tell it was probably 6 inches below the spine. So we're thinking it probably went right through that no man's land, or like the back strap right there. It's about 10:30 right now, and I got class here, so I'm gonna do class. I got a test I gotta do. I got a couple quizzes, so I'm gonna get those done, and then where they bed, I'm gonna go through and just go for a little walk afterwards. See if I can't find her, find some blood, something. So we're gonna see what happens. But from looking at the arrow, there not being any blood at the site, it looks like she's probably gonna live, which sucks, really sucks, because I mean, she was a big doe, and I would have got my doe out of the way, so it just sucks. You don't want to injure a deer, but that looks like we're not going to get her. But like I said, I'm going to do class, do my test, do my quiz that I got to do. Then I'm going to drive down the road here, walk underneath the bridge, and walk through here and see if I can't find her, or find any blood, or maybe find her dead or something. Who knows? But if she's dead, she's going to be bedded down over there, because that's the thick stuff. And that's where they came from. That's where they bed. So kind of a combination of me thinking she was 25 when she was really 21, putting my 20-yard pin high, and her ducking. I hit right where my 20-yard pin was. She ducked about 6-8 inches. So you wouldn't think they duck that much at 21 yards, but it happens. So keep our fingers crossed while we do class here. The reason I'm back in the stand this evening is because, I figured, well, we'll walk, there's a road we can walk down and get in the woods on a creek crossing and walk this back, and down here ahead of us, about 150-200 yards, is a big thicket, and that's where they bed. So I figured, okay, if she's injured, she's probably gonna go bed down. If she's gonna die, we'll find her in between the bridge and where that thicket starts. She'll be in that thicket. Sure enough, we got in there walking, and I jumped 2 deer up. Did not look injured at all. I think one of them was her. One was like one of the fawns probably, and the other one was a big doe. And I'm about 80-90% sure it was her. And there's nothing you can do. It stinks. You don't want to injure deer, but the good thing is about that, at least it's not a gut shot, and she's like, you're hurting. It's no different than like cutting your arm or something. I mean, it is different because you're getting shot with an arrow, but she's not gonna bleed out and die in 3 days. She's gonna survive. We jumped those 2 deer. They kind of moseyed back and bedded back down, most likely. So we're hoping that the deer want to come this way. We're hoping that in between we looking for her and me getting back in here, they didn't already make their way through, and that we're going to be able to, they're gonna come through tonight. Who knows? She might come through, most likely not, but she might come through. Tell you one thing, if she does come through, she's gonna be looking in this tree. But she may come through, she may not. We'll know because she's gonna have a mark on her. But my dad, me, a couple of my buddies, we all think she's gonna be fine. She's gonna survive it. So it stinks because I really thought I finally got my doe out of the way there and I'd be buck hunting, but it happens. And I didn't do anything wrong besides misjudge the yardage. Thought she was a little further than she was. I hit right where my 20-yard pin was because she was at 21 yards. I thought she was 25, so I aimed high. The mix between that and her ducking the arrow, it just did not end well. So some of you are probably like, well, you should put your tag on her anyways because you shot her. Well, I thought about that, and I would if I hit her like in the guts or something and I had a feeling she was going to die, we just couldn't find her, I would be more than willing to put my tag on her. But the fact that I feel like she's going to survive, I don't think I don't think I need to put my tag on her. And I'm 90% sure she's going to survive it. So ready to go.
we just had a doe and a buck fawn come through. She was on the more medium side, but the buck fawn had spots still, so I let her walk. They were right here, 10 yards. Normally, if they're with fawns this time of year, especially, and if they still got spots, I let them walk. You know, I've always been told once they lose their spots, they're good. Then we had another doe come out and run behind them. We saw something on the hill. It didn't like turn around and ran back. She was alone and probably big enough. I probably could have got a shot on her. I wish I would have been able to get a shot on her, but that's urban hunting for you. Never even saw me. Literally walked right next to me. Never saw me. Looks like it's gonna be a wrap for tonight's hunt. We got 6 minutes left to shoot light. It's starting to get real windy and rain, so probably gonna start crawling out of here so we don't get too wet, but it was a pretty good night. Heck, I dang near saw more deer tonight than I did all last season, but it was a good night. We saw quite a few deer, just waiting on another big doe to come through. Hopefully we'll get a shot at another one here soon, and then we can focus on our target buck. So we're gonna crawl out of here. I think Papa Martin's got a burger on the grill waiting for me, so I'm hungry and I'm in need of it. Hopefully we'll get back after him here soon. Still bummed about that shot this morning, but you live and you learn, and hey, that's hunting. See y'all later, folks.